today we are talking about who your business really needs you to be and how you can be showing up differently today. Hey love, you're listening to the Mums and Biz Show and I'm Victoria. Every week I'll bring you the unvarnished version of what it means to be a mum running a brilliant business, what you need to be doing to get it to where you want it to be, and a healthy dose of how to get the heck out of your own way. Let's dive in. Well, hey there. I'm Victoria. This is the Mums and Biz Show, and today we are talking about who your business really needs you to be and how you can be showing up differently today. I know that you have probably heard someone say online, if you want your dream business, then you need to show up as the CEO that your dream business needs. What? On your good days, I know that this probably sends you into a frenzy of overwhelm and self-recrimination and doubt and guilt and why am I not feeling like this amazing CEO? And on your bad days, if you're anything like me, I'm guessing it makes you want to throw the computer out the window. Love, I know that you are determined to grow your business. You wouldn't be here otherwise. I know that you are committed and that you probably feel like you have tried all the things. When I was getting Nick T coaching off the ground, I was completely unsure about what to do next. And frankly, a wee bit like a deer in the headlights at the prospect of just how much there was to learn. I mean, gosh, there is so much to learn. It's such a steep learning curve. So it's daunting, right? Is it daunting to you when you started your business or even now as you're still trying to grow or contemplating getting things moving? There's that need to be absolutely everywhere. It's really challenging to figure out what your business needs now. It's really challenging and overwhelming to figure out how to prioritize your time and where you need to be putting your effort in. Give me a comment. I would love to know if that's something that you have experienced too. So if it's so hard for us to figure out what our business needs right now, how on earth are we meant to know what our future business needs? That's what I want to get into today. Because, see, it's all about flow. I want to try and create for you so that you can get a sense for what it is that I'm talking about. And all of these so-called online gurus are talking about when they say you need to learn how to show up as the CEO that your future business needs you to be. So let's talk about that. Can you think of a time where things have felt effortless for you in your business? And if not in your business, then think of another example from your life. Maybe it's when you're working with a favorite client or creating a new product, or maybe you absolutely love writing and when you hit your stride writing a blog or writing some new content and you just get into flow. It feels amazing. It's effortless. You don't feel like you're working super hard to make this thing happen. Have you got an example? All right, I want you to hold that moment in your mind. Now think about how that feels, how you feel in that moment. Do you feel confident? Do you feel strong, maybe creative? Do you just have this quiet assurance that you know you've got it covered? Maybe you're feeling really inspired. You know, you've got the inspiration on what you need to do next. And the whole thing just doesn't feel like hard work. I know when I'm in flow, and I'm often in flow these days in my business, but it was not like that when I was getting started. I feel like I just know what the next steps are. I know what I need to say. I know what my ideal clients need to hear. I'm usually having a heap of fun. I absolutely love working in my business. It doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel like effort. In fact, I feel deprived when I don't get to spend that time working on it. Have you got that moment? Have you got that sensation, what that feels like? You want it to be feeling like that the majority of the time when you're running your business. Except for when we're stretching ourselves outside our comfort zone. That really can be a bit shaky, and it's hard to maintain all those feelings of confidence when you're actually really not feeling confident and you're kind of faking it a wee bit. But you know what? When you really start to get things humming in your business, even doing the uncomfortable stuff starts to feel great. And I can say that from a place of experience. And actually, you probably can too. Think of, well, any new skill that you decide to learn, or maybe a new hobby that you wanted to take on board, anything that you've done in your life where it felt uncomfortable to get started. Nearly every new thing feels like that, right? But it doesn't stay feeling like that. You practice, you get used to it, you get a bit more comfortable, you start to build your confidence. Everything starts to move towards flow most of the time. And so then that thing, which used to feel really uncomfortable, you start to stretch the boundaries a bit, to try new things, and you might feel a little bit weird, but you're actually pretty okay with trying something new. Your business can be exactly like that. That's what I mean when I think feeling like you're in flow in your business, okay? And I completely hear you. I know that you think I sound a bit crazy. That's completely okay. I am slightly crazy, so, I'm happy to own the title. Why is it so hard to be like that all the time? And what the heck does it mean to be who your business needs you to be? Well, that is an absolutely excellent question, my friend. I'm glad that you asked it. For a start, there are very, very few people who 100% feel confident in themselves, their skills, their experience, heck, even sometimes our dreams, right? We doubt our own dreams. We dream them and then we claw them back because they don't feel natural, they don't feel right. We doubt our ability to achieve them, and so we don't give ourselves permission to even feel them. So that means that we are way outside our comfort zone when we decide to start our own businesses. Throw into the mix the fact that as mums, we're also dealing generally with a whole bunch of mum guilt and the expectations that we and everybody else put on us. And it's a pretty challenging time when we're learning so much constantly in our business. Throw over the top of that your supersized dreams, and we create way more pressure for ourselves than we need to because we're not comfortable even with having those big dreams. And most of us are just struggling to show up every day, much less do it confidently. Most of us, particularly when we get started, we're just aiming for trying to hit consistency. And it is really difficult to believe in yourself when you don't actually trust that you can even do something consistently, much less believe that you can do it amazingly. Which brings me to my next point, because it does come down to belief. How hard are you believing in what is possible, in your dreams coming true, in achieving your goals for your business this year, for this month, maybe even just for this week? How much do you believe and trust in yourself that you're going to do those things that you set out as being your top priorities for the week? So let's dig in on belief just a little bit, because this is another one of those concepts that people talk about a lot. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about how we manage our energy and how we're showing up from an energetic perspective. And one of the points that he made was that we don't really believe in the concept of belief. He said, if you talk to any really, really successful person, most of them don't give you a list of the how-tos. They don't say, oh, you need to do these things and then you will be successful. Most of them say something along the lines of, you just have to believe in yourself. You just have to dream it and then go and do it and make it happen. You have to believe in yourself and back yourself to do the things that need to be done to bring your dreams to life. And most of us sit back and go, well, that's lovely. Thank you very much for not really helping me at all. But really, they are helping you, because there is only a finite number of ways to make money in business. I know that people will tell us that, the different, maybe it's, the permutations and combinations of how you make money. Sure, you can create lots of different varieties, but ultimately there are a few base business models, and most businesses come from those. It isn't actually generally that complex. The hard part is us and how we show up and our confidence and battling that constant doubt and second guessing ourselves and not feeling like we've got the courage to do the things that are outside of our comfort zone to get us to where we need to be. It's all about self-belief. And it's no different to watching our kids learn something new. My youngest, not my youngest, goodness, she's 2. My oldest got roller skates for Christmas. And so she's learning how to skate. And I remember painfully what that was like for myself as a child. And the only thing that gets better with her right now, it's not actually her skill. It's her learning to trust herself and believe in herself that she can do it, to even try to do the things that she needs to do to get better at skating, which is have a go, play with your feet, feel that uncertainty with the wheels underneath your feet and between you and the ground, and get used to that rocky kind of sensation. You can't get used to that unless you start to believe and trust yourself enough to let yourself get used to that. And then you start to learn to skate. And there are lots of examples with our kids where we watch them and we're like, you just need to try, just need to believe that it's possible and try, and then you'll be able to start to pick it up. We are no different. I know it's very humbling as a mother to sit here, with 20 years experience and say I'm really no different to my 5-year-old. But in this particular aspect, it's kind of true, right? It's about self-belief, and your business is exactly the same. You have to have the belief and the trust in yourself to let go a little bit and get used to the feeling of the wheels under your feet, get used to the feeling of the rocky, so that you can move forward, so that you can start to build your confidence and deliver things. Okay? So what then does it mean to be who your business needs you to be? So I'm going to tell you in a second how to find that person. But what we're talking about with this whole concept is your business, not the one you've got right now, but the one that you're working towards, whether that be in 12 months' time and where you want to be then, or your 5-year vision, or even, ultimately your end game, where you want your business to be, the kinds of money that you want to be earning, the types of things you want to be offering. There is a you who is running that business, and that person is not you now. That's you with X number of years, 1, 5, 10 years experience under your belt, more learnings. That is a you who perhaps has more skills. Mostly, it's a you who has more confidence and who has more courage. And if you can start to learn how to tap into that now, what happens is you stand up a little bit straighter. You feel more confident now. You learn how to tap into that feeling, and you start making the decisions that are actually going to get you to that end point. Otherwise, you're making decisions to try and move yourself forward, but you're doing that from where you're at right now. And what got you here won't get you there. Anybody who's listened to James Wedmore will have heard that 1,000 times. I love James Wedmore. And he's right. What I've got right now, the business that I've got now, is the culmination of all of my skills and experience and the decisions that I've made in my life up until this point. And that's what got me to this point. I need something different to get me to the point where I'm going. And you can accelerate that by starting to learn how to tap into it. So let me give you some tangible examples. First, we need to figure out who that successful CEO is. And to do this, I'm going to get you to play with a little bit of visualization, okay? So I want you to close your eyes with me for a sec. Can you do that? I'd close my eyes, but I won't be able to read my notes. So you're on your own, but nobody can see you. It's okay. It's very, very safe. Let me grab some water. Okay, so you've got your eyes closed and you're working with me here. What does your dream business look like? Have a think about that. Just imagine yourself. You're transporting yourself forward in time. You've got a little time machine there, and I want you to play with it a little and just visualize what that feels like. How are you serving in that business, this dream business? This is ultimately how I would love it to be one day. Who are you serving? Who are you working with? Don't be constrained in this visualization activity by who you're working with now or how you're working now. This is all about the future, okay? How much money are you making? Monthly, yearly? How much money are you making in your business? Where are you working? Maybe you're 100% from home. Maybe you're working from all over the world because you've got the freedom to travel. Maybe you've got an amazing office. What does dream look like for you? What's the ideal? Where are you working? How much are you working? Do you want to be working full time? Do you want to be working hardly at all? Do you want to be doing 20 hours a week? Is that across 3 days, 7 days? How much are you working? What does that look like for you? How do your clients find you? Maybe you are 100% online with your business. Maybe you are doing a lot of networking. Maybe you're in the speaking circuit. Maybe people find you through things like this. Maybe you've got a show. Maybe you've got a podcast or a hugely successful blog. How are your clients finding you? Maybe it's 100% word of mouth because you provide such incredible services and transformational outcomes for people that everybody just in your niche sing your praises. All right, the most important question, now that you're kind of in that visualization and you're answering these questions for yourself and you're feeling yourself sit there in that day, that ideal day in your dream business, what do you feel like? This is the absolute clincher here. What do you feel like when you visualize that incredible future business? As the CEO running the company, how does it feel? What do you feel every single day? Okay? Maybe you feel empowered. Maybe you feel free. Maybe you feel strong. Maybe it's confident. Maybe it's humble. Maybe it's valued. Maybe it's a huge helping of gratitude and thankfulness. It's happiness. What are those feelings that you feel? In order to figure out who your business needs you to be, you need to know how it feels to be running your dream business. And those feelings are what you can learn to create in your right now. Our feelings are an indicator of our state of mind, how our energy is flowing, of the things that we are attracting into our world. Let me ask you a question here. Have you ever noticed how you decide that you're having a bad day? Something may have happened. Maybe several somethings have happened. Maybe you just woke up in a bad mood. Something has conspired and you're like, this is a shit day. This is just going to be horrible. And so you feel crappy. And then everything that happens to you after that is crappy. Have you ever noticed that? I'm sure you've had a day like that. I know I've had days like that. And the hard truth is that we chose for that experience on that day. And most of us we're not prepared to accept this. I'm not saying that bad things don't happen. Please don't misinterpret that is, of course they do. Bad things do happen. But we decide how we react to them, how we feel, and then how we choose to let that set of emotions keep impacting upon us. When you figure out how you want to be feeling as the CEO of your successful business and then work hard to create those feelings, you must make different decisions. You automatically make different decisions. You're deciding from a different place, a different energy, a different feeling. You make different choices all day, every day to do that. Now, if we think back about that crappy day example that I gave you, you've probably also got a day where you can remember something happening and you deciding that you weren't going to let that ruin your day. And then it didn't matter what happened after that. Even if it was a series of things, you just kept deciding that it wasn't going to ruin your day. You just kept deciding that this is how you were going to feel about something without letting that feeling become all-encompassing. We're not talking about not feeling feelings. It's really important to acknowledge them and feel them and work through them, but not to let them define you. And that's the difference maker for somebody who has got confidence and strength. Okay? By all of these choices that we make about how we feel, we are activating the law of attraction. We are inviting that ideal future in. We're following the plan that is laid out for us. And best of all, we're choosing to make it real, which means that we are choosing to do the things that need to be done to get us there, to get us to where we want to go. And you're following the opportunities. You hear about remaining open to opportunity and open to possibility when they get presented to us. And if you're open to it, you actually are aware that it comes across your path, and then you can make a choice to move towards it. And you're just trusting and you're believing in yourself and your business that it will be that successful business that you so desire. Am I getting a bit woo-woo for you here? I completely get that. It's a rabbit hole to go down, and I firmly believe that there is a huge amount of value in going down it, but it can feel a bit weird when you get started and when you start thinking about it. But there is truth to some of the things that I'm saying, and I know that you know that whether you believe in the law of attraction or not. So what about this then? If you don't choose to show up as a confident CEO now, or at least try to, then how in saint's name do you expect people to take you seriously? If you don't believe in yourself and believe in the value that you have to offer, why would a potential client believe in you? We can tell. You can think of an example of someone that you've spoken to and it was very clear that they didn't believe that they could help you. And that made you doubt whether they could help you too. Now, I'm not talking about every situation where you've come across someone like that. Sometimes we give people the benefit of the doubt, but I know that you've got an example like that. So it is swings and roundabouts, but you are in the driver's seat. And by swings and roundabouts, I mean of how we're feeling and how we're showing up and the things that are happening and our confidence and our courage and all of that kind of stuff. It's a constant ebb and flow of action and reaction. But you are in the driver's seat and you get to choose the next step that you take. So this is really just about how you show up as a person, how you show up as the person that your successful business needs you to be. And tapping into that by feelings, by knowing how that successful person feels and finding ways to bring that to yourself right now. I promise you that it helps you stand up straighter. It absolutely breathes life into your confidence and your courage. And if you're feeling like there's a bit of an aha moment here, or maybe there's just some inspiration tickling the outsides of your mental gymnastics because the rest of you's all in resistance thinking, well, I'm a complete la-la, I know that there is a real possibility that you can get to that dream life. Like it actually can happen for every one of us. We all have within us what we need to make that happen because we all have control over how we show up and the feelings that we choose and the courage and the confidence that we choose. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoy listening to the Mums in Biz show, I would love for you to leave us a review on iTunes and be sure to post a snap of you enjoying the show on Instagram and tag me at nicole.tuerick. You can also join in the conversation with me in the Mums in Biz tribe on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Mums in Biz show.